You're grabbing a coffee when a coworker suddenly leans in and starts tearing apart Sarah from accounting. Immediately, your brain sounds an alarm. Your instinct might be to just nod along, or maybe stay completely silent. You think keeping your mouth shut makes you safe. But every time you participate in gossip, even by just offering a polite nod, you're sending a signal. You're telling them they can use you as an audience for their negativity. Once people see you as a willing receptacle for that energy, they will keep coming back. They aren't returning because they respect you. They're returning because they know you won't put up a stop sign. So you think the solution is to shut it down directly, tell them they're toxic. But psychology points to something called the backfire effect. When people feel attacked, they rarely reflect on their behavior. They double down. If you confront them head-on, they don't change. They just label you as uptight, and suddenly you become the next target. Playing along drains you, and fighting back paints a target on your back. To navigate this without ruining your reputation or killing the mood in the room, you have to dismantle the gossip smoothly. To do that, we need to look at what's actually happening beneath the surface. Psychologists call this triangulation. Triangulation is a social dynamic where someone tries to pull you into a fake alliance by putting a third person down. In the moment, it feels flattering. It feels like you're being trusted with a secret. But the reality of that dynamic is sharp. If someone is willing to gossip with you, they are absolutely going to gossip about you the moment you leave the room. Best-selling author Mel Robbins has a personal rule for these situations. I don't talk about people who aren't here. You don't have to announce this to the room. Just holding it as a strict internal boundary shifts how you view the entire interaction. Once you recognize gossip for what it is, an uninvited game of social leverage, you stop feeling trapped by it. You can start applying specific, mechanical circuit breakers to shut the conversation down. This flowchart illustrates social bonding theory. It shows how a gossip interaction is essentially a closed mechanical loop. Those two nodes represent people, and that glowing pulse between them is shared negativity. The entire engine runs on agreement and validation. To break the circuit, you remove the fuel. If they start trashing someone, you drop a genuine compliment about that absent person right into the middle of the loop. This sudden injection of positivity triggers cognitive dissonance in the gossiper's brain. Cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort a person feels when their beliefs or behaviors are contradicted by new information. Their negativity hits a wall of positive friction, and the conversational engine stalls out. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is to not be like your enemy. When you meet toxicity with quiet grace, you refuse to reflect their behavior back at them. You haven't lectured them or started a fight, but by firmly blocking the negative current with a positive truth, you force the gossiper to silently reevaluate their approach. Sometimes the positive block doesn't hold. The gossiper rejects your compliment and doubles down on the attack, insisting you just don't know the whole story. If they push back, your next move is emotional reframing. You deliver a completely neutral justification. You say, maybe everyone has different experiences, or they were probably just stressed about deadlines today. You offer zero defense and zero offense. This is a modern application of a Stoic concept called sympathia. Sympathia is the understanding that all things are interconnected and that people act from a complex web of causes and stressors rather than pure malice. When you replace harsh judgment with radical empathy, you strip the emotional juice entirely out of the attack. Without that emotional battery to draw from, the gossip loses its momentum. Now that you've drained the tension, you move the spotlight. Psychologists call this topic shifting. You smoothly transition the conversation to a safe, neutral subject, like asking about a new project update or how their team is handling the workload. This diagram illustrates what we can call social aikido. You aren't standing your ground and absorbing the heavy force of their negative energy. Instead, you curve alongside their momentum and gently guide it in a completely different direction. If the room is still running hot, you can use relief theory. This is the psychological idea that humor releases emotional pressure. A light joke about how the office is starting to sound like a Netflix drama breaks the tension, but pivot immediately after the laugh fades, otherwise they'll interpret your chuckle as approval. Redirecting the flow of conversation protects your boundaries. You neutralize the awkwardness, disarm the toxicity, and manage the room without ever making a scene. Some personalities are just endlessly draining. When you're dealing with a truly toxic attention seeker, you use the gray rock method. The gray rock method involves giving one-word replies and zero emotion to starve the person of a reaction. Without any emotional feedback to feed on, the gossiper eventually abandons the target. A gossip session acts as a live-fire test of your own discipline. It measures your empathy, your boundaries, and your self-respect in real time. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus noted centuries ago, "We cannot control the mouths of others. We have absolute sovereignty over our own responses." In a social environment addicted to constant noise, character stands out. Choosing to listen carefully and speak kindly while refusing the toxic loop protects your peace and builds a reputation for integrity.